Hello, and in this RNG Battles video, and this will be part 3 of does the 5% damage from giant weapons truly matter? In this video, I'll be going over Demon Slayer, probably one of the most commonly used weapons by a lot of higher up players. I don't have one. I only have a Doodle RPG, sadly, which honestly I probably need to trade for a demon soon. I can afford one. I'm just kind of lazy. But moving on from that, I'll go through each. If you see on the right side, I have not all the calculations, but enough calculations to get the gist of it. If I did all the calculations, this would be down to here, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want this video to be over 10 minutes long or so. Just moving on to the start, we can talk about the base damage. Base damage for Demon is 74. Can't one-shot anything, but it is a high amount of damage. And with the 5% damage boost, we have 77.7. Yet again, cannot one-shot anything, so far it's pretty irrelevant for the 5% damage boost. Moving on, but if we had 2 hits, that's 148 damage. Now with 2 hits, we can 2-hit the Mummy armor. It's a more basic armor, and many players will get off this very quickly, but if you're grinding, it can be very helpful to know that you can 2-shot this and everything below it. But with the 5%, that you get 155.4, you can actually 2-shot everything that is the noob and below. So if you're grinding, that can be very helpful to know, and you will soon see a really common trend of the 5% versus base. Going over to 3 times, which is getting stuck between the two. Can 3-shot with only base hits, no crits. Can 3-shot the tin armor. Now, tin armor is still a pretty basic armor, but you'll see it a lot less often than some of these lower ones. And most noobs in most servers, this will probably be their best towards Apocalypse. So you can 3-shot the tin armor. Now with the 5% boost with 3 hits, you can actually jump up and 3-shot the scrap armor. Now if you've seen every single trend, you can see it jumps up. Moving on to 4 hits, you would be able to 4-hit the Knight armor with just base hits. And with the 4 hits with the 5% damage boost, you can 4-hit the Reaper. If you see the common trend, everything is essentially boosted up 1. Well, not including any exclusive armors, which I won't include because A, newer players won't have them, and C, no one really uses them all too often that I see. Like, I've never seen someone wear the superhero costume. I've maybe seen someone wear the hot dog. I've never seen someone wear this. I have seen people wear the winter coat. I rarely see any of the doodle stuff. I've seen like 1 corn. Yet again, I don't see either of these two. I rarely see these. I do see a lot more leprechauns. Moving on to 5 hits. With 5 hits, you can 5-hit the Jug armor. Pretty good. And with 5 hits with the 5% boost, you can 5-hit the Blacksmith. These are all base hits, no crits or at all. We'll get to that in the next part. And then 6 hits, it's just the same for both. You can 6 base hits and it'll kill Doodle Henry. Nothing too special, but as you can see, the 5% damage boost does, with just base hits, boosts everything up to 1 level higher of what you can hit with the same amount of hits. Moving on, we can just go for the crits now. Now the base crit with Demon is 111, which allows you to one-shot the cardboard armor. Congratulations, you can one-shot any person that just started the game. Moving on to with the boost, it is 116.55, which does not level anything up. You can still one-shot cardboard armor, so good for you. You didn't accomplish anything with that 5% damage boost. But let's move on to 2 crits. With 2 crits, you do 222 for the base with 2 crits, meaning you can 2-crit the tin armor. Pretty good achievement. But like the last one, you can jump up to scrap armor to crit this with the 5% damage boost, which is very nice. Moving on to 3 crits. For the base, it would be 333 damage. You can triple crit the Jester armor out of existence. And And moving on to 3 crits with the 5% damage boost. You do not jump up. You cannot 3-hit Fall Queen. It's 5 damage off. So if you wanted to know that, Fall Queen's 255, I believe. Don't quote me on this. But I don't think you can 3-shot Fall Queen. I think it's 255. I'm gonna get told later. And then moving on to 4 crits on either of them, you'll just 1-shot Doodle Henry or 4-shot Doodle Henry with either one. And now moving on to both crits and base damage. This is where I cut off certain numbers and combinations and certain math I just didn't want to do, and I'll just keep it nice and simple. 1 base hit and 1 crit for the base will give you 185. Now 185, that can get you anywhere from the winter coat and below if they're the base. Now using the 5% damage boost, 1 normal hit, 1 crit, that will allow you to 2-hit anything that is fencing and below. As you see, it's a small boost. Now 2 normal hits and 1 crit, that will bring you to 259, and that you can 3-shot the Apocalypse with 2 base hits, 1 crit on base damage. Pretty solid. Moving on with the 5% damage boost for 2 base hits and 1 crit, I'll get you to 271 damage. And with 271 damage, you can 3-hit Firefighter with 2 base and 1 crit on the 5% boost. Like you can see, it seems to be about a jump of 1 up, well, minus exclusives, 1 up every single time roughly. Moving on to 3 base hits and 1 crit, you'll get to 333 damage. And well, these numbers are the exact same for the triple crits, and you can kill Jester with 3 base hits and a crit for both, and nothing else besides that, unless Fall Queen is below 250, which I don't think it is. Moving on to 4 hits and 1 crit, and you can just 4 hits and 1 crit will just kill Doodle Henry, so it does not matter. I would have done certain other things, like adding another crit to stuff like this. Like if I added another base hit to the 222, what would end up happening is that I'm going to get another number I've already had up here, to my knowledge. Do I have a 290 up here? I actually don't, but say I added like 70 to this, I'd be getting another number I've already had up here before. And I didn't really feel like doing that, because I think you get the gist of it, of everything else I've explained. It is just a jump up between the crits and the normal hits, and between the crits with the 5%. So overall, the 5% damage is pretty big for this. For Doodle Henry, it doesn't really matter, but for secrets, it does matter. Juggernaut does matter. Jester, it doesn't really matter. Reaper and Knight do matter. Firefighter matters. Apocalypse matters. Scrap did matter. And if you're going to be using Demon, the 5% is very nice to have. A lot better than it was for Bob. Bob, you don't really need it at all, but I'll link that video after this. I hope everyone enjoyed and had good information from this video, and peace out.